Chama Seven Chinese Brothers, a primeira longa do Bob, passou no festival South by Southwest em Austin, teve há relativamente pouco tempo a estreia nos Estados Unidos e está aqui na competição do nosso festival. Thank you, Bob, for being here with us. Well, we'll do a Q&A in the end, but would you like to say a few words?
Yeah, are you going to translate?
No, there's no necessity for translation.
Really? Everyone speaks English?
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Go ahead.
Well, I'm happy to be showing the movie in Portugal. We've shown this movie a lot in the United States. And, hello. You want me to start over? Okay. We've shown the movie a lot, and but I'm excited to show it here in Portugal. I've been here for a couple days, and I've always wanted to come to Portugal. In the United States where I live, Portugal has a reputation of being a place that people really want to go and try to get to one day. So here I am.
Should we call Shauna to join us?
Yeah, the producer is here. Why don't you come up here, Shauna?
Shauna, the producer.
She produced the film. I directed the film. She was just eating. What were you eating?
Oh, it was lovely salmon, and yeah. Thank you for being here. I hope you enjoy it.
But Antonio said we're going to do a Q&A afterwards. But I always try to answer one question before the movie. I do like a pre-Q&A, like a warm-up Q&A if anybody has any questions before the movie. I usually do it with Jason, the lead actor. How many people have heard of Jason Schwartzman?
Good, great.
Is he a big, have you seen Rushmore? This is like a sequel to Rushmore that nobody said we could make. But if the kid from Rushmore kind of got down on his luck and kind of woke up in his mid-30s in Austin, they shot Rushmore in Houston, which is about 3 hours southeast of where I live. And so, so if they had made a sequel to this many years later, this would be that movie. I don't know why I want to keep talking, but I do.
We were just waiting for Karen to come. She's already here, so we can start the screening, and then we will have the Q&A.
I'm gonna go watch The Sitter downstairs. If you get bored, you can come down and watch The Sitter with me.
Will you be there with the dog?
No dogs.
No dogs. To bite the people who go out.
No. If you get bored, it's a short movie. I'm sorry, it would be fine.
Ok, boa sessão e até já.
Thanks for staying to watch the movie. I really appreciate it. And I hope you had as much fun watching it as we did making it. I've never said that at a Q&A before today.
No, first of all, what did you do to the chewing gum? You were just chewing.
In any case, I still got it.
No.
How do you want to do this? Antonio saw the film in Austin, and I appreciate you bringing it here. So whatever you want to do.
Well, when you wrote the script for this film, were you already thinking on Jason Schwartzman?
Well, no. I was a fan of Schwartzman, but I wrote the script in May of 2001. And so Jason was, he's like in his early 20s. And he just turned 35. And I always felt like the person who played the part would be like 34, 33. I really did. One of the things the movie is about is how when you like drink and lay around, you can kind of do it in your 20s and maybe a little bit in your 30s, but then it starts to get to be usually it gets to be a problem, and by 35, if you're still doing it, that's it. So he's about to get to the place where he's got to deal with, drugs and alcohol. He's right at that point where it's about to be something he's got to deal with.
But then how did you came to Jason? Was it difficult to convince him to?
Well, he liked the script, and the script is weird. He likes weird things. He reads scripts that are like Hollywood scripts, and a lot of them are very similar, and he's kind of stopped reading them. He doesn't read as many as he used to. So when you write a script that's personal, this is a very personal script, and it has a very personal tone, you can, not usually, but you have a chance to get an actor like that. And what I usually do when I go after an actor, I will write them a letter and put it on top of the script, and then I'll mail them the script. Instead of sending them a computer, like a PDF, I'll send them so we did that.
But did you follow the script by the book, or did you improvise when shooting?
Jason came to Austin 2 weeks before we started shooting, and we just started talking about the character and talking. He said he trying to find the character. He asked me, I'm not exaggerating, he must have asked me 900 questions about the guy. He would ask me questions all day, every day. And 3 days before we started shooting, Sean has heard this story, 3 days before we started shooting, he said, I have no idea how to play this guy or who this guy is at all. And we'd been talking about it for 10 days. And so I was surprised when he said that, but I said, you're going to be great. It's going to be great. And I meant it. I meant it when I said it. So.
And what about this dog? Whose dog is this?
That's Jason's dog, and
he said, if you want to hire me, you have to hire my dog.
Right. I had written the script for a bigger dog, a meaner dog, and then Jason's a very connected actor. He has a lot of friends who are actors that we could have put in the movie. He never suggested any of his friends, but he did suggest that I meet Arrow. And when I did, I wanted Arrow to be in the movie the moment I met him.
Okay. Have you people got any questions? You've got his chewing gum. Now.
Is it rude? Are you not supposed to chew gum in Portugal?
Did you have, this really brings you in medias res into this man's world, and we are in the immediacy every second of how he's living, which is what's so fresh about it. Did you have a backstory for this character? Because you said, how did he end up, what was he doing in his 20s that he ended up this way, or did you just say, this is this kind of person?
The second one, really. I mean, he doesn't have parents, and there isn't kind of a backstory. The script was written fairly quickly, and I think it sprang out of my kind of unconscious mind. And so none of the, I think I had ideas about it, but none of that was, his only surviving relative is his grandmother, and I think I knew that, and she's based on my grandma, and one of the weird things about the script was I wrote it and then I showed it to two of my friends, and they both said that I had written the script about myself. And I was very surprised when they said that. They said, oh, you wrote a script about yourself. And I said, no, I didn't. That's not me. But I think I did. I mean, I think that's really what I did. So, without knowing it. So that's one of the tricks of the movie, I think. And
you wanted it hopeful at the end? Because it's very hopeful at the end. I mean, did you have that intention that that's what you're going to leave your audience with?
Yeah, I mean, the script had a hopeful ending. But that's not the scripted ending, but it was hopeful in the script.
And one last, 7 Chinese brothers. Yeah, we were thinking maybe it had something to do with the panda, but we don't know.
I don't know either. Yeah, we played that song for you guys in the closing credits. It wasn't cheap either. So I hope you enjoyed it. Blood, sweat, and tears. Yeah. Yeah, it's blood, sweat, and tears. Who else has a question? Thank you for your thoughtful, intelligent questions. Who doesn't usually ask a question at a Q&A and hates people who ask questions at Q&As? All of you? But I know Jason wishes he was here. He wanted to come, but he's so busy, and he has a new baby, or a year-old baby, and I wish he was here because he'd be really happy to be here.
Well, you don't have.
You're carrying the Q&A. I appreciate it.
I liked your choice of milieu, and I was wondering how that it was refreshing that you're actually having three friends, one who is an orderly, one who is two people who are mechanics, working in a mechanic shop, and the environment of the supermarket, or that little convenience store. That was really a nice, fresh look at America. It's not the kind of thing you typically see in an American film unless they're all rising to riches. And I was wondering about your class consciousness in this film and your choice to deliberately make this the sub-proletariat a story with no American dream behind it.
It's a great question. Sometimes the viewer is more intelligent than the filmmaker, and it brings a consciousness to the viewing experience. But yeah, I mean, one of the things about the film is that, and this has been a theme with Antonio bringing films to the festival, is there is a type of Austin feel to this movie, and I wouldn't say that it's super deliberate. I mean, we shot the movie in Austin, and I like shooting there, but sort of whatever's in the water there seems to have kind of drifted into the film, and there's a kind of torpor to the main character that I think is located. If we'd shot the movie maybe in Houston or Dallas or somewhere, like Toronto or Vancouver, I don't know they would have the kind of milieu that you're talking about. It'd be interesting, but sometimes I wish the movie moved a little bit quicker. And life in Austin, sometimes I wish it moved a little bit quicker, maybe. I don't know. It's hard to put my finger on. So, but I don't know, I don't know what your culture is like here. Did you identify with him? I mean, or was he strange to you? Please answer in unison. You can.
Everybody left him, I guess.
Everybody loved him? I mean, that's probably not true either. Jason, the actor, is very likable. He's got a lot of charisma. And if you're going to make a movie like this, you should try to find someone who's charismatic. I mean, right?
But how can you not like this character?
Well, I don't know. I mean, he doesn't really do anything. He's kind of lazy. I don't know if have you shown Slacker yet?
I'm not sure. Yesterday?
How many people have seen Slacker? No? Nobody? Wow, that's weird.
There's one over there.
Anyway, well, Slacker was a movie made in Austin about 25 years ago, and I think it's had an impact on movies made there. I don't know, even if you make a movie that's not at all like Slacker, it's still like a rejection of Slacker. So, I don't know if that's true. Anyway, I thought that there would be more questions than just like one person. I've never been to Q&A where only one person asked questions and everyone else just stared at me. I mean, obviously, you guys are smart people. There's questions in people's heads. I'm just gonna keep ranting.
I'll ask one. Was it difficult to keep the cheerful moments? This movie relates to death. Was it difficult to maintain this happiness and this humor with regarding death?
That's a good question.
Thank you.
That's I do that bit all the time. Well, you know, she dies, and then he goes to the convenience store and he gets some more beer, and he's going to take some medication with the beer. And Jason was in the parking lot. We were shooting, and he had this phrase that he really liked to say in real life, which is like, at the end of the day, he likes to have like a glass of tequila, and he says he likes to think and drink. He says, I like to think and drink. And so we're shooting, and he improvised that during the scene. He said it's like, no, I want to sit, I want to think and drink. And so, you know, I wanted to leave that in because I just liked that he wanted to think and drink. And then he goes home and he ends up getting in that fight with that guy. And that's supposed to be kind of absurd when that happens. There's supposed to be kind of, it's supposed to be kind of an absurd thing to happen. Like, he doesn't say, hey, my grandma just died, leave me alone. He says, I keyed your car. I mean, he's kind of in a place. And then I think the humor of that scene of him being hit, I mean, it was always a funny scene to me. I don't know if you guys have seen Raging Bull. Well, there's a scene where he sort of decides he's just gonna let himself get beat up because he's been fighting with his brother, and there's like a scene and he's just like, I'm just gonna just take it. And I always loved that and wanted to just put it in a movie where a guy just gets like, all right, yeah, just hit me. I want to be punched in the face. Everyone's so polite too, staying for the Q&A. Thank you.
Good evening. I wanted to ask a question about the script. It's a very freewheeling movie, but you can definitely sense that there is a sense of motion about it, and characters are reacting to things, and there is a cause and consequence, but the design doesn't feel like the usual 3-act structure or the usual Hollywood script, as you said. So I wonder if when you write, you pose yourself questions about, am I following any model of screenwriting, or if you just have a more free, personal approach to it?
Well, my approach is more, the good writing I've done it's been very unconscious writing. And so it's usually early in the morning, it's usually before I'm really awake. And it's usually with an idea about where it's going, but it's not very deliberate. And this script was written very quickly. It took 6 days to write, and I'm a little embarrassed that it was written that quickly. And then I did a rewrite of it that took a few days. A year and a half after I wrote it, I did a rewrite. And then it would get polished. Every time we were ready to go into production on it, we'd polish it. And we were going to make it in 2004. And Rosario Dawson's manager asked me to write a scene for her. And so I wrote that banner hanging scene for Rosario Dawson. And then I just liked it and left it in when the project fell apart. We were going to make it in 2004 with Paul Rudd was going to play Major Norwood, and Kevin Corrigan was going to play Larry, and Phyllis Diller was going to play Grandma. Rosario Dawson was going to play Lupe. But it fell apart. But that was the closest we came to getting it made. Where are they now?
Agradeço, gostei imenso, não foi nada condescendente com a sociedade em geral, estou de acordo consigo em particular. porque podia ser em Portugal, ou em Lisboa, ou não sei onde. Tudo o que se passou é muito interessante. Mostrou a nu verdadeiramente como é que as pessoas estão envolvidas em toda a sociedade e têm a sua contribuição efetiva para que as coisas sejam como são. A falta de solidariedade é tremenda, isso é muito evidente no filme. O filme é de uma ironia e de uma inteligência incrível. Obrigada.
Oh, yes, there are so other people. So the film is, this lady says she loved the film and it's not condescending at all, and it could happen somewhere else, not in that precise place. It could be in Europe or even here in Portugal. And there's a lot of irony and this lack of solidarity that we can see in many places. She says you did a great movie.
Great. I would love to end there if that's possible. Thank you for coming. And the irony, you know, Jason brings irony to. I remember we worked with a big casting director on this movie, and we told her we were working with Jason, and she said, you know, everything the character says is now going to become ironic. And I didn't know exactly what she meant, but then when I started working with Jason, I knew what she meant. And he's just got this thing. So, thank you. Thanks for coming.